Good evening. Today's learning goal is that students will be able to use nested parentheses to evaluate expressions. We learned in the last video that there is a particular order in which we perform operations when we're evaluating expressions. We use the saying, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," and that tells us that we do parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. So the first step was to do parentheses, but sometimes we find out that there will be more than one set of parentheses, and sometimes these parentheses will be inside of other parentheses. Whenever you have parentheses inside of other parentheses, we call this nested parentheses. An example of this would look like this. We have 5 times, and we have a bracket, that's kind of a square parentheses. And then we have another parentheses, 7 minus 3, and that's enclosed. Then we're going to multiply that times, and then we have another parentheses, 8 plus 2, and that one's closed. And then we close off the bracket, and then after that, we add 12. And so you see with the parentheses on the inside of the brackets, we have to know how to what order to perform those in. And so the order that we're going to do that is we start on the inside and we work our way outside. So in this particular example, we'd solve the 7 minus 3, we'd solve the 8 plus 2, and then we'd solve the brackets. And then once we clear out all the parentheses and brackets, then we're going to continue with our "please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." So we'll do exponents and multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. So let's look at a sample problem. In our sample problem, we want to write an expression that represents the situation. We have Bill is paid $30 for each of the jobs that he performs, but for each job that he performs, he has to spend $8 of that $30. Julie's paid $35 for each job that she performs, but she has to spend $10 every time she performs a job. And working together, they each work 10 jobs. So let's look. We can make an expression for Bill's money that he's making. For each job, it's 30 minus 8. 30 that he earns minus the 8 that he spends. For Julie, it's very similar. 35 minus 10. 35 for what she earns minus the 10 that she has to spend. We can combine those together for each job to see how much total money they make. And so for one job, we could do the 30 minus 8 and add that to the 35 minus 10. We take Bill's money that he earns and add it to the money that Julie earns. And then the final step is we want to know how much that would be if they worked 10 jobs. And so we would multiply that out, or we take what they earn for one day and we'd multiply that times what they earn for 10 days. And we put the 10 times in front. Okay, and then in order to solve these types of problems, again, we're going to start with our parentheses, and we're going to start on the inside. So the first one we're going to solve is 30 minus 8, which is 22. Then we're going to solve 35 minus 10, which is 25. And then we bring down the plus sign, we bring down the brackets, and we bring down the multiplication sign in the 10. So the brackets here, they act like parentheses, so they're going to be the next thing that we do. So we're going to add the 22 and the 25, which gives us 47. Bring down the 10 and the multiplication sign, and so now we have 10 times 47, which is 470. So the answer to our problem would be how much do they earn when they do 10 jobs, and they would earn $470 for performing 10 jobs. So let's go ahead and work another sample problem and see how we do that when we have even more nested parentheses. So in this example we have 4 times, and then we have a new symbol there. That's a brace. And then inside that we have a bracket, and then inside that we have a parentheses. And then we do 5 minus 2 in parentheses times 3 bracket plus, and then another bracket, another parentheses, 2 plus 4 in parentheses times 2, and then we have another bracket and another brace. So we're going to solve this type of problem, and remember we work from the inside out. So we'll start on the inside and work our way out. Okay, so we've written the problem down, and we're going to start on the inside. And so the first one that we come across its inside is the parentheses here, so we're going to do 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then we have another one that's on the inside, 2 plus 4, and that's 6. And then we're going to bring everything else down. So we're going to bring down the multiplication sign in the 3, and that's inside of brackets. We're going to bring down the multiplication sign in the 2, and that's also inside the brackets. We have a curly brace that we need to bring down, and another curly brace that we need to bring down, and then we need to bring down the 4 in the multiplication sign. And then we need to bring down the plus sign as well. Alright, so we've cleared out the parentheses. Now we're going to clear out the brackets. So we do 3 times 3 is 9. We do 6 times 2, which is 12. We're going to add those together. We're going to put those inside the braces, and then we're going to bring down the 4 in the multiplication sign. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to clear out the braces. So we have 9 plus 12 is 21, and then we're going to multiply that times the 4. And then the last one we do is the 4 times the 21, and that gives you 84. Alright, so those are the sample problems that we're going to work. You go ahead and work out the practice problems that we have here. There's 3 practice problems. So pause the video, complete the practice problems that we have, and then restart the video and check your answers to make sure that you did them correctly. Okay, and here are the answers. Number 1 is 88, number 2 is 28, and number 3 is 11. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll work on those tomorrow in class. Thank you, and have a great evening.